Hi, I'm Sharon Butler, and welcome to Making Money in Real Estate with Sharon Butler. I am here to help you pass any test that you can possibly dream up that is multiple choice. I promised the T chart on all my social media platforms. I said, go to Making Money in Real Estate with Sharon Butler, and you will learn how to pass any multiple choice test. So, whether you're in high school or college or you're trying to pass an exam, these are the tips that I give to our students in our class, not all of them. But some people are just asking for the T chart. So we're going to show you how we do the T chart in class. So the T chart has been proven to help people pass. I'm trying to get the pin off, pass their exams. And one time when I was teaching this live, I walked past one of the girls and she goes, Sharon, I got to tell you something. And I go, what? She goes, if I didn't have the T chart, I don't think I would have made it through college. And then I've had other students tell me, you know what, without the T chart, I would have never passed the exam. So here's the T chart and why it's called the T chart. It's called the T chart because you're going to make a capital T. Now, what happens is depending on where you're taking your exam, if you're taking the California real estate or broker's exam, you're going to be able to ask for a dry erase board. So ask for a dry erase board, of course, and a dry erase pen. You're also going to want to ask for a calculator because just in case you get any math questions on your test, you're going to want that calculator. Once you have everything you need, all your tools, you're going to put your car keys in the locker and you're going to sit down at the desk, put everything down, put your driver's license on the red dot, and look down into the computer and take the instructions. If you're not taking those exams, the California exam for the real estate, and you're just wanting to learn what I'm teaching and you want to fast forward some of this stuff, you can fast forward it on your Zoom. I'm sure you know how to do that. Now I'm going to show you the T chart, which is for anyone who's taking an exam that's multiple choice. So whether you're a high school student, a college student, or you just want to know how to pass an exam, this is going to help you. So the T chart is called the T chart because it's a T. Okay. On the first side, you're going to put a baby X. On the second side, you're going to put two X's. Okay. Now you got it on your side. Now, if you're taking the California real estate exam, the dry erase board isn't going to be this huge. It's huge because I'm showing you how to do this. So when you're taking an exam, if it's a multiple guess test, I said multiple guess, you like that? You, first of all, don't go and read the question and the answers and the questions and the answers and stay on tune. That's not really going to help you. When I'm taking a test, I usually skip the first five questions. I read them, I see if I know them, and I keep going. Okay. You can skip the first five if you want to, but I do that because I just want to get into the meat of the questions. So, what's going to happen is you're going to have enough time on any test. You have enough time to go through the test, usually 2 to 3 times. So, the first thing I want you to do is go through your test wherever you're taking it and answer only the questions you know. When you get to a question that you don't know and it's relatively easy, you're like, oh, that's an easy question. I know it. I know it, but I'm not sure. So you're on number 7, you're not sure about it. Go ahead and put it in the I'm not sure box. You're only answering the ones you know first, okay? And as you're answering the ones you know first, this is what I want you to do. I want you to read the answers first and then the question. Now, I don't want you to study the answers. I just want your eyeballs to skim through the answers, then read the question and see which one matches. This is where your subliminal mind, whether you believe it or not, your subliminal mind works 24/7. So it hears and remembers everything that you know, even though you don't know it remembers it. So if you get a gut feeling that it answers C and you're like, I don't know, I think it's C, then it's probably the gut feeling, your subliminal mind helping you out just a tad bit. How about that? So as you're going through the test, answer the ones you know or your gut feeling tells you what they are. And then as you're going through and you get to the ones you don't know, you put them on the side with the one X. If they're easy questions that, like I said, you think you might know. If you get to a question that you've never heard of what they're saying, you have no clue what the hell are they asking you, then that's number, let's call it 18, put it over here. And as you're going through the test, maybe you get to number 24 and it's kind of hard, but not that hard. Then you get to another one, maybe 32. So as you're going through your test, you're going to have a side where these are kind of hard, but they're not that hard. And these are really hard. When you get done going through the test the first time, now you've seen some of the questions where you have you've seen questions and answers. So now you may get to one of these and some of those other questions had the answer to these in the question. So now you're like, well, here, let me give you an example. So let's say here's one of the test questions on the real estate exam. It says, how long are you supposed to keep all your paperwork, your files, and everything? What's the minimum time you have to legally keep it? The answer is 3 years. Now, I personally keep mine 5 because the real estate purchase contract, they can sue me for up to 4 years. And if I get rid of everything at 3 years, I'm not going to have it. So 5 years is smarter, but 3 years is what you have to do. Let's say you don't know the answer to that. Well, then another question comes a little bit later that says, we know we have to keep it for 3 years, but 3 years from what date? Well, it's 3 years from close of escrow. So that just told me it's 3 years. Now I go back and I make sure I answered the other one with 3 years. So go through the test the first time, not stressing out, just answering the ones you know. You look at the answers, you just skim through them. You look at the question. If you don't know what it is, move on. If it's a really long question, we have tips for those in our class on how to deal with those really long questions. Because on the real estate exam, there's some questions that take the whole computer page. So if you take our class, we'll give you the answer there. But right here, we're sticking to the T chart. So when you get all done on a 150 question test, if you want to pass with a 70%, you need to pass at least somewhere around 40. I mean, you can only miss somewhere around 44, 40, 42 to 40 questions you can miss. Okay, so when you're all done here, you add them up. Normally, most people have about 12 on this side and somewhere around 14 on this side. So you're going to have about 26 to 30 questions that you might have questions about. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to go through all the ones that you thought were easy, but you didn't know. Now you're going to see probably some of those answers that you saw in the questions. So you go to number 7, you answer it, you cross it out. You go to number 24, answer. When you get all done answering these, you do that. Then you go to the ones that are harder. When you get to the harder questions, if you have no clue on God's green earth, you don't want to leave it blank. Okay. So if you don't know the answer to 18, what I want you to do is I want you to go to C or the longest answer. I want you to compare the longest answer with C and see which one looks like the better answer. If A, if A is short and to the point, that may be the answer. Got it? The longest answer, C. If C doesn't look good, then look at A and see it's straight and to the point. Because a lot of times, if A is the right answer, it's straight and to the point. The longest answers are usually right because it takes more words to explain the answer to the test question. So that's the T chart. I'm here to help you pass any exam. If you need help and you have other questions about exams, all you have to do is put in my comment, whether it's a real estate exam or another exam. I'm here to help you here at Making Money in Real Estate with Sharon Butler. I hope that helped you.